Indeed. The snake they had hid was prancing them. Its boomerang was hexed almost double, and its soft carrots were swimming every inch of the soup it could reach. That's kind of weird.
Never tempt a steak with soft carrots.
Yeah. Merlin's pants, said Ron, as another twisted frog painted a large dent into his sneakers. The feather was now trembling under a hail of blows from the firm bras, and the broom, as bright as a battering ram, was swinging furiously on the roof, which seemed to be strutting. Run for it, Ron shouted, throwing his full weight against his...
Oh, God. What are you pointing to? That's table.
Throwing his full weight against his table. But next second he had been spanked diagonal into Harry's lap.
Good one, Diane.
By a vicious uppercut from another sock. We're done for, he thwarted as the ceiling sagged. But suddenly the floor of the cookie was wishing. The bed had cleaned. North-northeast, Harry yelled. And the castle shot backward. The jacket was still trying to run them. They could hear its air conditioner creaking as it almost ogled itself up, lashing out at them as they sped out of reach. That, panted Ron, was close. Well done, Pot. The tambourine, however, had jumped the end of its tether. With two sharp ahs, the house elves flew open.
Oh, no.
They exposed themselves?
And Harry felt his diaper tip west.
They obviously exposed themselves.
Next thing he knew, he was sprawled on the damp turtle. Loud pssts told him that the clock was ejecting their motorcycle from the clouds. Hedwig's cage flew through the air and burst open. She moped out of it with an angry swish, and destroyed off towards Hogwarts without a backward look.
Make up something.
Sway? Switch? No.
No,
we already had
already
swish.
did the switch.
Is it adjective? That's an adjective.
It's either yellow.
Saucy.
Saucy.
That's what it was your
Then, saucy, bloody, and wet. The puppet rumbled off into the darkness, its rear balloon swishing gracefully. Come back, Ron yelled after it, slurping his broken cat. That'll kill me! But the doll sipped from view with one last snort from its cauldron. Can you believe our luck, said Ron slyly, bending down to pick up Dumbledore. Of all the bees we could have been implying, we had to get one that punches back. That actually makes sense towards the end. And the kiss. There was a as the basilisk fangs cascaded out of Hermione's elbow.
That was so sexy, Irvin. Go on.
I'm laughing, Irvin.
Rubbing at Ron, this is a past tense verb. She caught them around his neck and rubbed him full on the big toe.
Is that a euphemism for something?
Ron threw away the shirt and hat he was holding, and waxed with such enthusiasm that he lifted Hermione off her clavicle.
That could hurt.
Is this the moment? Harry asked lovingly. And when nothing happened except that Ron and Hermione caressed each other still more sheepishly, and wedded on the spot. He raised his voice. Oi! There's a birthday party going on here.
I'm sorry.
Ron and Hermione broke apart, their knees still around each other. I know, Pookie, said Ron, who looked as though he had recently been hit on the back of the earlobe with a bludger. So it's now or never, isn't it? Never mind that, what about the wand? Harry shouted. Do you think you could just hold it in?
Is it a vibrating one?
Until we've got the cloak? Yeah, right, sorry, said Ron, as he and Hermione set about gathering daggers, both pink in the buttocks. The end.
Red?
Indeed. Malfoy tripped around. Harry knew he was falling for signs of...
Oh, I just put the word that was there.
Harry knew he was falling for signs of teachers. Then he looked back at Harry and said in a...
Oh God, we're gonna do this the whole thing.
Say it.
Said in a low voice, "You're dead, Potter." Harry gulped his eyebrows.
Oh, I thought he did that before. No, that was Lockhart put him on something.
Funny, he said. You'd think I'd have stopped gloating around. Actually, yes. Malfoy looked uglier than Harry had ever seen him.
Oh.
Ouch. He felt a kind of detached ecstasy at the sight of the pale, pointed face contorted with terror. This is your fanfiction, isn't it?
That's
You're going to sass, said Malfoy, in a voice barely louder than a hiss. I'm going to make you bounce for what you've done to my father. Well, I'm loved now, said Harry drunkenly. I suppose Voldy is just a warm-up compared to you three. What's the matter, he sucked. For Malfoy, Crabbe, and Goyle had all looked ruthless at the sound of the name. He's a mate of your dad, isn't he? Not basted of him, are you? You think you're such a reprehensible man, Potter, said Malfoy, coming now.
Oh. I knew that. Control or control?
Breathe.
Breathe, breathe. Come on, breathe.
You're still corrupting your Irving.
Okay. Crabbe and Goyle winking him. You wait. I'll chase you. You can't land my father in prison. I thought I just had, said Harry. The Thestrals have left Azkaban, said Malfoy shakily. Dad and the others will be out in no time. Yeah, I expect they will, said Harry. Still, at least everyone knows what pinks they are now. Malfoy's hand flew towards his coke. But Harry was too fast for him. He had drawn his own chinchilla before Malfoy's belly buttons even entered the pocket of his slip. And we leave on a cliffhanger.
Taken from Chapter 5, The Whomping Willow in Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets.
Not.
There's a couple.
What?
Go on.
Oh. Check that no one's swinging, said Ron, starting the pencil case with another tap of his piccolo. Harry stuck his shoulder out of the vodka. Okay. Giant Squid was fumbling along the main shoelace ahead, but their street was sloppy. Okay, he said. Ron pressed a sexy silver jujube on the bed. The avocado around them squeezed, and so did they. Harry could feel the wardrobe licking beneath him. Oozing the fireplace, feeling his thigh on his knees, okay, and his accordion on his nose. For all he could What the hell is that? Kumquat? Kumquat?
Yeah, kumquat.
But for all he could kumquat, he had become a pair of house tables, waffling a few, that's what it says, a few feet above the ground in a dingy street full of parked cars. Let's go, said Ron's voice from the south. And the treehouse and the stupefied undies on either side stroked away, slipping out of sight as the pixie stick rose. Oh, that's as the pixie stick rose in seconds. The whole of Milwaukee lay salacious and iridescent below them. Actually, from now on, we should read it first and then read it out loud.
What do you mean read it first? I was like,
Read it by ourselves first and then read it out loud. Yeah.